Hi, and welcome back if you've watched the previous videos. My name is Tim Spees, and I'll be guiding you through this video series about the most important journey any human being can take. In fact, a journey we all need to take. In the first two videos, we learned that there were three barriers to this journey that most people will not be able to get past: pride, fear, and selfishness. To make this journey, you will need the courage and humility to look at yourself without the filter of self-pride. To make this journey, you'll need to overcome the fear that will seek to prevent you from honestly examining your life and the way you're living it. To make this journey, you'll need to overcome the selfishness that will seek to prevent you from seeing the impact your words or behavior, or lack thereof, are having on other people. We learned many, perhaps most people, are wrapped in the pride, fear, selfishness cocoon that cannot be escaped without a willingness to see oneself as we are. If even one or more of those three enslavers have dominance in our lives, then we will not be able to make this journey, simply because we will be blind to the path this journey takes. Please know that a sure sign of being wrapped in the pride, fear, selfishness cocoon is when you encounter something that you don't understand, disagree with, or that makes you uncomfortable, and the person bringing you the information says to you, "There's no need to be afraid or angry." And you immediately react with, "I'm not afraid," or "I'm not angry," or "I know." Can you see it? Your self-pride kicks in to deny the fear you are experiencing due to your not understanding or not wanting to acknowledge, consider, or receive the information. And of course, this makes us unwilling to even consider change, which makes us something far less than we as humans are capable of. We simply must change in order to become a better person. Our next step is for me to introduce you to the primary tool you will need to take this journey. There is a tool you must adopt in order to make this journey successful. A tool you may not be very familiar with, since it might be very different than what you're used to. What is this very important and necessary tool? It is called reason and truth. This metaphysical tool is what you will need in order to make this journey. You must be willing to use sound reason, which leads to truth, to evaluate yourself, your life, and the people and things around you. Reason and truth are what bring an important level of enlightenment or understanding to our human experience. For just as ignorance is a form of darkness, knowledge and understanding is a form of light. Just like being able to read a map can enable us to get out of a situation where we are lost, in like manner, reason can help us get out of false things we believe about ourselves, others, or the world we live in. You see, dear viewer, truth can help us see ourselves and our need to change our behavior, but only if we truly want to. Truth and reason can enable us to see that things are right or wrong with us, and with the people we interact with or the world we live in. Are you willing, dear viewer, to rise out of the pride, fear, and selfishness cocoon and allow reason to be your guide? Remember, reason, which leads to truth, is a form of light. So if you're not willing to live your life by reason, then where would that leave you? Are you willing to look at yourself, others, or the world you live in truth, and not filter out those things you don't want to see or to admit? Instead of justifying yourself and the way you live, are you willing to allow reason to reveal truth to you? In this time in the United States, I would wager that the vast majority of people are not using reason to guide their understanding of their life. Rather, they are using their feelings or emotions to guide their life and their understanding of things. Statements like, "I feel like doing this or not doing that," or "I'm in the mood for," are common expressions of people who are not using reason and the things that reason uses, principles and purpose, to guide themselves, but rather emotion. Unfortunately, all, quote, "I feel like doing or not doing," unquote, statements start from a self-perspective, and many never get past that. Living by our emotions promotes a selfish life, since my actions are all about me and how I feel about doing or not doing them. Do you remember the last of the three things that enslave people and prevent them from making this journey? Yes, it was selfishness. By its very nature, any person looking to their emotions to guide how they live their life will be living a selfish life. Life will be primarily about how I feel about, or am I going to do this because I feel, or I don't feel like doing that, or I'm not in the mood for, etc., etc. In short, my primary life purpose will be about making sure I feel good. In addition to being a lesser life, living life by our emotions is like a roller coaster with all its ups and downs depending upon our circumstances. Yet the roller coaster has one purpose: to entertain us, to make us feel good. Again, a selfish purpose. When we perceive things are going badly for us, then we will feel down or sad. If we perceive things are going well for us, we will be happy. For many, their perception of their life is primarily a negative or bad one, and therefore they almost always feel down, depressed, or despondent. These are those who turn to drugs to artificially lift their emotions, or who eventually say life is not worth living, and then kill themselves to end the emotional pain they so regularly experience. Here's an important truth. The most valuable things in life involve selflessness, not selfishness, and emotions are to play no role in what kind of a life we choose to live. Please let me repeat that. The most valuable things in life involve selflessness, not selfishness, and emotions are to play no role in what kind of a life we choose to live. Here's a clarifying statement at this point. Emotions or feelings are not bad in and of themselves. They're like the wrapping on the gift or the spice on our food. They bring color and flavor into our lives. If we do something good, we are rewarded by feeling good about it. If we do something bad, our emotions, working with our conscience, will provide a warning signal if we have not dulled our conscience. If we celebrate an important occasion, the emotion of happiness is there to bring an additional and wonderful dimension to that experience, making it more memorable. So, while emotions are good, they have their place, and that place is as an additional dimension that is meant to follow thoughts and understanding. They are meant to be an effect, feelings, following a cause, thoughts, or our understanding of our experiences. They are the wagging of the tail, not the head of the dog. Please let me repeat that. So while emotions are good, they have their place, and that place is as an additional dimension that is meant to follow thoughts and understanding. They are meant to be an effect, feelings, following a cause, thoughts, or our understanding of our experiences. They are the wagging tail, not the head of the dog. Let's use an analogy to clarify this important truth. Most everyone is familiar with a bicycle. A bicycle has many different parts that enable it to be operated properly. The steering wheel enables the rider to direct the bike where they want to go. The brakes enable the rider to stop the bicycle when they need to. And like different parts to a bicycle, they have their functions. So it is with people's attributes, including emotions. Emotions have their purpose and function, and they are not meant to be the steering wheel. They are not meant to direct the bike. Rather, they're more like the paint color or the bell on the handlebar. Dear viewer, if you are allowing emotions to be the primary guide in your life, the good news is that there is a better way to live your life. You can get off the selfish emotional roller coaster. In fact, this journey will require that you no longer use emotions to guide your life each day. The journey will require that you don't evaluate your life or your decisions each day based on how you feel about something or what your mood is at the moment. Instead, the journey will require that you use reason and truth as the primary tool to understand your life, your experiences, and your decisions. To have clear reasons for your existence and how you spend your time you have been given. Let's use a common example of people living by feelings instead of by reason and truth. Let's say you're not content with your current car, that it has been having various things break on it for a few times a year. You also know that you thought that you are already struggling with debt and that you cannot afford any additional expenses each month, and that you don't have the money to buy the car outright. While your current car's failures are bad, they are not so bad that you cannot pay for them. One day you are riding somewhere with a friend and you pass a car dealership and your friend talks you into visiting the local car dealership. Soon you find yourself in front of a piece of paper that commits you to buying the car, with pen in hand. You really like the car, your emotions, it's pretty, it's cool, I really want it, but reason says you cannot afford the car and you should not buy it. What does the average American do? More precisely, what do you do? Here's an important fact about living by truth and reason. Our perception and behavior will not be based on emotions, but rather on principles or beliefs we hold true in our minds. In the car example, the principle you live by should be you won't buy more than you can pay for, or accumulating debt is bad. Living by principles and truth means we will not evaluate things and make decisions based on our mood at the time. Rather, we will evaluate and make decisions based on our principles and beliefs and how we judge the situation by those principles or beliefs. The truth is, there are two basic kinds of people. There are those who try to live by principles, and there are those who do not. Those who would rather live by their mood and how they feel about things at the time, and for many, what they will get out of the situation. This is not a black or white or all or nothing categorization, but rather it is a principle of awareness and direction. Those who try and live by principles or beliefs are conscious of those principles and beliefs. They make a conscious effort to see things through those beliefs and try to behave in a way consistent with their principles. Please allow me to repeat that. The truth is, there are two basic kinds of people. There are those who try to live by principles, and there are those who do not. There are those who would rather live by their mood and how they feel at the time, and for many, what they will get out of the situation. This is not a black or white or all or nothing categorization. Rather, it is a principle of awareness and direction. Those who try and live by principles or beliefs are conscious of those principles and beliefs. They make a conscious decision and effort to see things through those beliefs and try and behave in a way consistent with their principles. What kind of a person are you, dear viewer? Do you have a set of life principles that are really important to you and that you consistently conform and guide your life by? Or are you a person who simply lives by your emotions and for what you can get out of every situation to benefit yourself? The former are living by a form of light. The latter are living by a form of darkness. This little truth requires that you do an honesty check with yourself at this point, dear viewer. What kind of a person are you? If you are a person who is guided primarily by your moods and emotions, then you will not be able to make this journey. If how you feel about something emotionally is your primary guide instead of reason, then you will not be able to make this journey. Why, you might ask? Because as soon as you encounter, experience, or hear something you don't like, something that rubs you the wrong way emotionally or offends you, you will turn away and not continue on the journey, even if what you are offended by is true. The simple truth is that if you are not living by principles, then of course you will not endure difficult things since it won't feel good. And the truth is that some of the most important things you can do with your life don't feel good. They are difficult and involve self-sacrifice or selfless behavior. So again, I ask, are you living by principles or by selfish-based moods? If you claim principles, what are they and where do they come from? How do you know if they are good or bad principles? We will look at that in the next video. As I have said, it is fine to have emotions, and there is a good and right time to experience and express them. We were designed to have certain emotions associated with thoughts and experiences, but we cannot function well when we insist on using our emotions as our guide. Emotions are the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. Or emotions are the rainbow we see on our walk, but not the purpose or destination of the walk. Our emotions are like the color of the bike, and not the steering wheel. Please think about these things, dear viewer. Remember, this journey is difficult for all people, and if you are journeying well at this point, that means that you are admitting to the few truths that are contained in these first few videos, no matter how much you don't like them or what ramifications are involved for how you live your life. In the next video, we will take a closer look at principles and beliefs. Until next time, be real. Get past the shallowness and pretentiousness of normal American life and look deeper to find what you really need.